Hi guys and welcome. Today I'm going to show you pretty much everything about Sociaflare. So it's going to be a long video and with a lot of information, so please bear with me. I would recommend that you try to go along with the video and do things like I do them. Stop it all the time, pause it, come back again when you've got time to it, and you might want to watch it, or at least part of it a few times. I've just opened that's the page that welcomes you when you go into Sociaflare first. And we're not going to talk about, what the free trial is so that you don't get a credit card, but I'm going to show you pretty much everything there is to automation here, to setting up an account, to scheduling posts in this one video. So let's get started. The first thing, I have already set up an account, but of course you can do this by signing up if you haven't yet. And I'm going to sign in here, and you go to the home page. And the first thing to look at is, or to show you, depending on how much screen size you have available, whether you do this on like a mobile phone, it will look differently. But if you do this on a big screen and you still find that you don't have enough size available, see this button here. If you press this and you go out with the mouse, the menu disappears. Go in, press the button, menu sticks, press three sizes. Simple thing. The other thing, you want to log out, you do this here in this corner. And you can also change the profile. Something I'm sometimes asked is like, oh, what kind of time zone are my posts going to be posted at? And this is the answer, is you set this here. So you can whatever is your time zone, put it in here. Some people, because they live in India, but they want to have their accounts associated with the United States, so they might want to set another time zone here. After you've done that, just click on Save Changes. You don't need to enter the password. So in this case, you would just leave it as it is, then it wouldn't change. But if you ever want to change your password, you would do that here. The other thing is you get an expiry date, in my case, in a few days, actually. If you want to renew, you can do that here. You can also upgrade, downgrade, etc. So that's the basic function behind this profile button. The menu here on the left-hand side is, I hope, it's quite simple laid out. The dashboard's got all the main functions, the overview. Like the home you already saw is where you have all these buttons, things that do different things, and the video tutorials. This is where we are right now. Then there's the statistics. You won't see much right now because the only account I have on there is not running yet right now. I'm going to set one up together with you. In the accounts side, you're going to see accounts. At the moment, I have one. And I've specifically chosen this one to show you. This one says re-login required. So that might have happened because, and in this case, I'll be honest with you, I have had this account on two different automation systems. That's not a good idea. If you want to have an account running on the automation and on your mobile phone, that's possible. But then please switch off the location services for the Instagram app. Both on an Apple and on an Android phone, you can take away the permission of the Instagram app to see your location. And that's good because otherwise, you might be driving around in Buffalo and the account might be logged in at that moment from Denver. And so Instagram is going to say, wait a moment, how's that possible? If you take away the permission for location, then they will only know you're somewhere in the US and or any other countries for that means, and it won't become a problem. Uh, when you have the relogin required, you just click on this, and it'll open the same kind of form that you have when you originally set up the account. So I'm gonna take that right now with you. The account is Leslie Attenborough, and by the way, these are test accounts. They're quite ugly accounts, to be honest. Um, in other words, they're like automated and everything. There's nothing manually beautifully done about those accounts. You will see, but I'm using them on all sorts of automation systems just to see what's possible. In your case, most likely you won't put in a proxy. And then the system will set up a proxy specifically for your country. In fact, the closest proxy available, and it will set up a different proxy for login just to make that easier, and then for posting. And that will all automatically happen automatically. But if you have an account that's already associated with a proxy that you might have used somewhere else, let's say, for instance, on Jarby, if you heard about that, then by all means put the proxy in here, and you can see here how you put it in. Usually it will be a username, password, then an @ IP port, or if it's a proxy that is IP authorized, if you ever have that, then it's only IP port. But then let's stop, because then you need to put in the server number in your proxy dashboard. Don't want to make it too complicated. In most cases, you'll get from the proxy provider, if you have that already, a username and a password, an IP and the port, and that's the way you put it in. But we'll leave it empty. We'll let the system decide for us, and click on Save Changes. Very likely I'm going to get like this kind of challenge box now. So the system now tries to log into Instagram. Please be patient. This might take some time. And you can see, enter the code sent to your number. I've got a code on my telephone number, so I'll need to look that up. And indeed, I have a code. Sometimes this takes time. Sometimes Instagram is not immediately sending codes. But like in most cases, this works quite well. So 436520. And now we will click on code. If you didn't get it, you can resend it after a certain time. And again, please be patient. There's a lot of happening in the background, because Instagram, whenever you install an account on a new phone with the Instagram app, you will see the same thing. It takes forever to load, because Instagram wants to know a lot of information about the device. What we're doing here is we're emulating a device. So we make Instagram believe that there is a mobile phone here. And it says changes saved. And if you have this green stuff here, there's nothing else you need to do here. So don't click Save Changes again. It would anyway rebel, because there's no password. Just go out, and you can go into Home, Statistics, or whatever, or just simply click on Accounts again. And now we have Leslie Attenborough added on. But I wanted to show you a new account. So let's set up a top. You can see this little button next to new account. You won't have that if you have the regular account, because then you can only set up one account, one Instagram account. But if you have the Pro plan, which I'm operating off from, you'll see this little button. And I think on the mobile phone, you will only see that little face here. And when you click on that, it allows you to set up another account. And we will do that right now. I've prepared that is a woman. Apparently, again, it's just a test account. Hope I remember the password actually. Again, I will leave the proxy free. Let's see. And again, this might take some time. Oh, again, I get a telephone phone number. It is, by the way, a very important point. If you don't have a phone associated with your Instagram account, do that right now. Go into the Instagram account and set up a phone number. In the old times, it used to be possible to have no telephone number, and then, every now and then when we get the security code here, you would sort of put in, like, I don't know whether you've heard about get SMS code, or, some kind of virtual number. Instagram doesn't accept that anymore. You will not go anywhere with automation if you don't have a real phone associated. So if you really want to handle like 20 accounts, then unfortunately you will need to get at least like 4 SIM cards. And because you can have about 5 accounts on each phone, and then you don't need to have 5 phones, but you need to have the SIM cards. Okay, so enter the security code. So let me see what I have here. 065 917. Confirm. And again, We'll need to wait and Instagram will log us in. If you don't have a phone number associated with your telephone, you have an email associated, you might get that code sent to the email. And it usually works, but let me tell you, in the long run, you'll be much more successful if you have a real telephone number. Um, and let me also tell you, now it worked, but sometimes you will see simply Instagram is sometimes down or it takes a long time, the answer doesn't come. I've had once, I've went and made myself a tea and I came back and it was virtually after 3 minutes the response came from Instagram. So please be patient. It will come, and if something goes wrong, you will see an error. It will say, the error probably has some code to it. And with support, if you see a code, please write to support, and we'll help you with that. But now we got Miss Kendall. And of course, by the way, when you click here on view timeline, it will switch into Instagram and it will show you that account in Instagram. But that's not what we want to do right now. I want to show you, how to work with the system. So the next step, and I encourage you really, and I think Thomas has spoken about that as well at length, is to post regularly. And posting is very easy with Sociaflare. You can already see here we have this posting area. And what you want to do, I'll show you the ad post first, but I will go through the other ones here. What you want to go is you need something to post. So you can see here, you can either get you an URL, or you can just simply upload a file from your PC. I will do that right now and just like use any kind of, and this is the moment when I need to find some kind of picture. Let's take absolutely like something from the garden, to use. Oh, that's a nice one here. It is like just for showing you. So this is the way you upload. And by the way, if you have many of them, you can click here into the delete mode. Then you will see this bin opens up, and then you can select the photos, like 1, 2, 3, 4, and in the end you click remove. That's the way to get rid of them again if you have too many. Once you have one, you'll just pull it in here, and you can see it shows you how this is going to look on Instagram. Now, two important points, and believe me, I made the mistake myself many times. The first one is if you have more than one account, be sure you post on the right account. You can select that here. I can't tell you how often I sort of made a post and it just ended up. Then I was wondering, where's my post? Just ended up in the wrong place. The second thing is you can select whether you want to post or whether you want to add it to your story. Then you click here, then you see the format changes immediately and a few other things changes. If you want to post a few photos, you would click here on album and you would just drag more pictures over here. Yeah, but for now, let's use a normal post. So you would write the caption, say, "This is my garden." You can see it will be shown here. And you can also immediately say first comment, what a nice garden. So Instagram will receive the post with the caption, and then additionally, a first comment will immediately be posted afterwards. Some people like to do that and put the hashtags into that first comment, um, as you want, or sort of like really. And then schedule if you don't want posts right now. And if once you schedule, you can click on this calendar here, and you select a date, let's say the 19th of March, just for thing now. And you can add a location. So this is actually Warsaw in Poland where this garden is. And you can see searching for Warsaw down here. So the moment I'm typing something in, it'll go to Instagram and it'll look for that. And you'll see these are Instagram's feedback. And that's a good idea. All these kind of things like giving a real location, it gives you trust. If you click auto remove media, that means after it's been posted on the 19th of March, it's going to be deleted from here. You don't need to do that. I never do it, but you could, if you have a lot of media, if you have a lot of posts, you want to keep an overview, you can have it automatically deleted. And then all you need to do is post now. And you can see post has been scheduled to 2020 19 time. Yeah, I didn't set the time. You can set the time as well. Now this is where the calendar comes in. When I click on calendar, I will see here, this is today, the 4th. I could add a post today. And this is where we have a scheduled one. And you can see on the 19th, there's no published one, no failed one. Of course not, because this is in the future. There's one scheduled post. And then later on, once this is done, you'll see, published or failed. And if it failed, you can see the reason why it failed. If I click on this, it'll take me back into the view, and I can see that there is a bit of a display problem. I'm looking at that in an Opera browser, so this is probably something I need to look at. So apologize for that, but you can see Devona Candle, regular, etc. Back to the calendar. If I say want to add a post on the 7th, I can just go from here. Post 7th, and you'll see it's already set up schedule, 7th of March, etc. What is this captions thing? So this is actually the thing that you might use a lot when you use hashtags, because you might know that you need to rotate hashtags. You don't always use the same hashtags. And to make that easier, you can set up caption templates by clicking on Add New. You give this a name. I will say, I don't know, religion, because this is actually a religious account. This is a niche of religious, like others have gaming. I have religion on that account. And you can just simply write the caption here and say, praise the Lord, to say something. I hope there's nobody really extremely Christian on this video who gets, a negative feeling about it, but it's just like the kind of thing. You can, of course, also write, emoticons. Well, that's probably a stupid one. There might be something with praying hands somewhere. So we might want to use that. Anyway, or some winking, and that's it. And you can, of course, delete them, and you save a caption. And then you can save more captions. Again, here, add new is always up here, this button here, like we added the new account. So now we can add a new caption template. And this one we say, like, I don't know, diving. It doesn't make any sense right now, but see you in the sea. Stupid stuff. Save caption. And there we are. And if I now add a post, and I want to write a caption, I don't need to all the time bring up the same stuff, bring up the same hashtags. I can just simply click here on caption. I can select one like diving, and it will select the text that we put into the diving stuff. So it doesn't make sense with normal sentences, but it makes a lot of sense with hashtags to have them, set them up once and then use them all the time. And you set up 5 different ones and use them.